And good afternoon, everybody. We are live here. Today is Thursday, like we do every Thursday here. We're here with Mario Quintero with the One Stop Shop Happy Hour. And today, Mario, even though it's a happy hour, you know, it's kind of a sad day for Florida.
We got a lot going on right now.
Got a lot going on right now. And folks, if you're watching this, pay attention because we change gears here on the topic for today, and we kind of want to focus this on hurricane and hurricane preparedness and what you need to do with your house, with real estate, if you're in the middle of a transaction, if you're looking, you're buying. I mean, it's all about the real estate and the mortgages and what to do, what not to do whenever a hurricane is imminent to strike the Florida area.
Mm-hmm.
So Mario, what has been your personal experience with hurricanes in the past?
So I've been a resident of Miami now for 32 years.
Okay.
And I got to tell you that the first 5 or 6 years that I moved here, I didn't take these storms too seriously. I thought it was a lot of hype. And then all of a sudden, Hurricane Andrew.
I remember Andrew, sure.
25 years ago changed my opinion completely about hurricanes because I lived through Andrew. And I got to tell you, it was a scary night. I saw the devastation. My house at that time was pretty close to the northern border of the hurricane. It peeled off the entire side of the paint on one side of my house.
The paint.
The paint. I was down to just cement. That's how powerful the winds were. So Andrew really gave me a new perspective back in 1994. We just celebrated the 25th year of Hurricane Andrew. And I got to tell you, if you're new to Florida or you're thinking about coming to Florida, you really need to take these hurricane warnings very seriously,
right,
because they can be very dangerous storms, and you got to follow the instructions very clearly and be prepared. Be prepared. Take the advice that everybody that's been through these storms, and today we're going to talk a little bit about that advice about how to prepare for one of these storms and safeguard your home and safeguard your family.
You know, that's one of the things about Florida. You know, everybody wants to come to Florida. Everybody up north wants to retire. I know you've handled a lot of transactions, people up north that are just tired of the cold and they want to retire to Florida. And I know, Mario, that's one of your specialties, mm-hmm, if anybody up there is watching. But being on the coast, being on the water, being in Florida has the risk. And you know, on the West Coast you have the earthquakes. Here we have the storms, we have the hurricanes. And folks, by the way, today is Thursday. If you're watching this live, you've seen the news. The hurricane has not hit yet if you're watching us live. And by the way, you can tell if you're watching us live by that little symbol up top that says live on the feed. But if you're watching us on the replay, in other words, if you're watching us after the weekend, after the hurricane has hit, just keep in mind that you can still share this, you can still contact Mario. The stuff that he wants to cover and stuff we're going to cover, it's great now, but it's a great lesson for those that are watching that maybe want to move down to Florida or just have questions, because where they come from, there's no hurricanes.
Exactly.
Mario, do you feel the current news is hype or real? I mean, it's all over the news, all over the media. People are freaking out. The cone is, all of Florida and Georgia has the cone. Hype or real?
No, this is real stuff. This
Okay.
is, you got to take this really seriously, and all you could do is make sure your home and your family is prepared, and then if you're able to help your neighbor or other family and friends, then do that. But make sure you take care of your home first. You know, make sure you got gas in your cars, make sure you got cash from the ATMs, because we don't know when a storm like this hits how many days we're not going to have power. Make sure you have enough water. If you have an outdoor grill, make sure you have gas, because you might be cooking out of that grill for a couple of 2 or 3 days. And just whatever they're recommending by the officials in the media, try to do everything that they say.
And you know, folks, I've been out on the road today most of the day. I got some gas and I got some stuff I needed, and already the roads are crazy. Gas stations are running out of gas. Today is Thursday. This is scheduled to hit us Sunday, maybe Monday. Don't wait. Do not wait, because out of experience, and Mario went through Andrew, I went through Andrew, out of experience, the longer you wait, the more difficult, frustration. There's accidents on the road. It's just crazy out there. So if you're watching us live, don't wait. Go ahead and take care. Don't worry about where that icon is. You know, we're in the cone, and if you remember Andrew, Andrew made a sharp left turn.
I say better be safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
Just prepare.
Absolutely.
Prepare.
If you're watching us live, do it after you finish the broadcast. Don't do it now. Mario, when you're talking about homes, what should buyers be looking for when they purchase a home that will be an asset when a hurricane hits Florida or the East Coast? I know, Andrew, a lot of properties got destroyed and damaged, and the code changed.
Right.
What are buyers looking for now?
So obviously, if the home is built from 1994 or on, that's a good thing, because they were all built under the new Miami-Dade strict code for hurricanes. Number two is if the home already has impact resisting windows and doors, that's a plus. If they don't have that, then accordion shutters would be the next viable safety net that you could have for that home. You also need to make sure that the garage door is hurricane, part of the hurricane has the steel
Right.
on the inside versus the wood, which is the old style, and that steel is viewed by the insurance company as the strongest available garage door. So these are things you want to take a look at, because if the home you're looking to buy doesn't have these things, that's going to be money that you're going to need to invest in the future to make that home as prepared as possible. Worst case scenario, you know, sometimes I have been involved in sales where the only thing that homeowner, the seller, has is the regular shutters that you got to put up one at a time. Those are very hard to put up. Sometimes you got to get a handyman to come and do it, because those panels are heavy, and it's very detailed as far as the time it takes to put them up. So, and the last thing is boards. You know, at least have some kind of boards on the window to stop the impact of the wind and different projectiles that can come into your home. So these things are very important, and you should consider these when buying your next home.
All right, and I know that you're speaking from a place of experience. You've mentioned it. Mario, you're licensed to do real estate in Florida.
I'm licensed to do real estate in the entire state of Florida and mortgages in the entire state of Florida.
Okay, so no matter where this thing hits, no matter what questions anybody has within Florida, they can contact you and ask you.
Yes, sir.
About the house, code, build, whatever you can give them an answer.
Yes, sir.
Just because your one-stop shop is located here in Miami-Dade, you service and you work with people all over Florida.
All over the state. Right now we're working with families in Bonita Springs, in Orlando, and Port St. Lucie.
Excellent, excellent. Mario, I know there's probably deals in the works, and people can't stop or hit the brakes on a real estate transaction, but what are some of the turbulences that can occur when you're in real estate transaction, if you are the buyer or if you are the seller, and there are times like this?
So right now, once that cone is identified that it's coming to a specific area, the insurance industry puts what they call, this area is now located in the box. And they call it like that. If you're in the box, they will not bind your insurance policy so that you can close. So it's going to delay your closing. So that's bad news for the buyer, and it's also bad news for the seller.
Of course.
And when that happens, you cannot bind your policy, okay, until after the storm passes. Now, what happens after the storm passes? If you are within a certain number of miles of where that cone or the eye of the hurricane passed through, the bank and the insurance company is going to want you to re-inspect that home and resend the appraisal out there to inspect whether the home that is being part of the transaction was damaged during the storm. If it was damaged, then the seller is going to have to fix it file some kind of insurance claim, and that'll delay your closing even further. So these are some of the major turbulences that can occur while your transaction is in progress. I mean, we have right now 3 transactions that are already past the appraisal point and the inspection point, and we're just waiting for financing to be approved. Now, those transactions may get caught up in this situation depending on where the hurricane hits.
Right. And at the present time, if you're watching us live, you realize that the cone is all throughout Florida and the Upper Keys. So there's no, there's no target except if you're in Florida and you're doing a transaction in Florida at this time.
It could be anywhere.
And it could be in the East Coast or the West Coast or the Gulf.
Because it may come straight across the state. So we don't know yet. It could come straight across the state. It could make a right. It could go south. We don't know. We have to listen to the authorities.
Mario, if any turbulences happen in a particular area after the storm, somebody in Florida, somebody has a question or needing help, can they call you as well?
They can call me, and there's not much I can do regarding the damage, but
No, of course.
I do have referral partners, and that are adjusters. They're
Right.
property adjusters, and my recommendation to my clients is always deal with a reputable property adjuster.
Right.
We have several that are part of our referral partners. One of them, Jonathan Wilson, is on our website, marioshomenews.com. We did a video with him a few months ago, and he works the entire state of Florida. In fact, he does other states outside of Florida, but he will be a good person to contact if you have property damage after the storm.
That's what I mean, because I know you work with the referral team and you have a very large, experienced, seasoned team scattered all over Florida, and maybe somebody is watching you and they've watched you, week after week after week, and that they may think that they're in an area that you don't cover, but no, they can make a call to you and you can refer somebody into that particular area.
We can refer you to a reputable property adjuster.
So this is the physical real estate, the physical home now.
And in a mortgage or a refinance, we've already maybe have done an appraisal. So once again, the investor, the lender, is going to want to send a reinspection of the property to make sure that no major damage has occurred. So part of the preparation for those of you that are watching, if you have large trees around your home,
Right.
You might want to consider getting a tree service out there and pruning some of those trees so that the wind actually goes through the tree and doesn't knock down the tree on your house. So these are things that when you live in Florida you have to think about, because they can affect the mortgage transaction or it can affect the potential damage to your home.
That's a great tip, Mario. That's a great idea, but let's just inform the viewers, if you're watching this now, don't go out there tomorrow and trim a tree.
No.
Because trash service and bulk service to pick up is not gonna pick it up.
That's why I mentioned the tree service.
Yeah.
Because they'll come, they'll trim it, and they'll turn it into
And I guarantee
sawdust.
your neighbor will not be happy.
No, you don't want to leave debris all over the front of your
Absolutely not. In fact, you may want to go out there on your pool area and secure all your furniture, anything loose, anything, if the cone gets to a point that it's narrowed down and focused in our particular area or your particular area if you're watching anywhere else in Florida. So Mario, I know that you specialize in multiple areas of realty, but I know you have a passion, a lot of experience in finding dream homes for people up north.
Mhm.
And people that want to retire in the South Florida market, and I know you're very well connected up north. What message do you have for new arrivals in Florida or people that are thinking of moving to Florida after they're seeing this news?
So there's 1,000 people moving to Florida every day.
Every
Okay.
single day.
Every single day there's over 1,000 people moving to Florida right now, according to the statistics. The best advice I could give you is that understand that there is a price to pay for the annual sunshine and the low weather, the good weather that we all experience here, the beaches, the pools, the golf, which I enjoy all year round.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a price to pay for that, and hurricanes is one of them. Okay, the thing is about the hurricanes is that the state of Florida, since Andrew in 1994, has really improved a lot of their emergency preparation for a hurricane. And I don't know about you, but I have a lot of faith in our local officials as to all the preparation that they do to keep everybody safe. The biggest part is for each person to do their part in protecting themselves. So if you're moving from the Northeast or the Midwest or another part of the U.S., or considering to move here, just know that, we have this little thing called a hurricane season from June to the end of October, and sometimes it goes into November. I'm not sure if it's October 30th or November 30th right now. But during this time, we have these little interruptions like we're having this weekend, and we just got to be prepared and do the right thing for your own home and your own family.
And the home that you purchase or the condo you purchase has a lot to do with it. If you're thinking of moving down and the hurricane issue has raised a flag in your plans, good advice is to talk to a real estate professional such as Mario, and he can advise you or guide you certain areas of the community, because in South Florida we have houses on the water. We have condos and high rises on the water, but we have homes inland as well.
Well, and that's the thing. If you buy in an area that's prone to evacuation,
of course,
when a storm comes, you need to also have a backup plan in the event that you're asked to evacuate your home or your condo because you're in that area. And these are the kind of things, I just want to mention one more thing. These are the kind of things that you can discuss with a realtor, but you can't discuss with an app from California.
I was planning to go there.
Very, very important fact. These are some of the important details that affect your life that a realtor comes in very handy, because this is an important matter.
And I'm sure that all things being equal housing, spacing and everything, a house in an area that is flood prone will probably be of less value, or more at risk. So to Mario's point, experience in the marketplace has no substitute.
It's not only the risk, it's the cost of insurance
as well
that home or that condominium may experience, that will be part of your projected budget. So these are things that have to be discussed when you're looking to buy in one of those areas.
So Mario, I know that you live here in South Florida. Do you have any regrets?
I have no regrets whatsoever.
Neither do I. Head on down if you're watching us from up north.
Like I said, I was convinced with Hurricane Andrew, and my home is like a little mini fort because that scared the living daylights out of me. To be able to have your back up against a cement block stucco home and feel the wall moving during the height of the hurricane was a rude awakening for me. And at that point in 1994, I didn't have shutters on my home. I had regular windows, and my preparation consisted of masking tape on the windows. So that gives you an idea of how ignorant I was back in 1994,
right.
And that has all radically changed since then. And I've taken every precaution to make sure my home is like a sealed container.
This hurricane is targeting Florida. We're not sure where Florida, maybe Georgia. It's targeting Florida. According to the forecasters, it's going to come in maybe as a 3. Some reports have said a 4. A Cat 4 storm is nothing to take for granted or to play around with. You're talking about 130 plus mile per hour winds there. Mario, if somebody watching afterwards, if their home sustains damage because of the storm, what should they do?
They should definitely call a property adjuster to help them with their claim. These are people that are usually tied in with law firms and lawyers that will help you maximize what your duly rightful claim should be paid. A lot of people make the mistake to call their insurance company immediately. Nothing against the insurance industry.
No, but that's very common, you know.
But it's very common. They call the insurance company right away. My first call would be to a property adjuster and have them come in and take over my claim as soon as possible. There are timelines that you have to abide by, so it's something that I would suggest you do immediately if you sustain damage. You know, one of the problems we have, or we had here in Florida, especially when Andrew happened, there was a lot of insurance fraud that occurred. And that really put the insurance industry on notice. Some people went to jail for that fraud, some people got caught. You know, you need to do the right thing, and if you sustain specific damage, you want your claim to be able to pay for that damage. And there's a process that goes with that claim here in the state of Florida. So I personally would not call my agent right away. I would definitely call one of the property adjusters that I know, and I would contract them to handle the claim, because they're going to get paid as part of the claim anyway, so it's not going to come out of my pocket. And that's my main recommendation. If you have any questions about this and you want to reach me, my phone number is 305-598-1600, or my cell is 305-588-0451. If you have any questions whatsoever before or after the storm.
And that's really a point, folks, that I want to drive home, because, you know, after disasters, after storms like this, you get people walking around neighborhoods. People start to crawl out from under every single rock, and sometimes people that have had damage in desperation, they give them money, they put trust and faith in a business card. Do your research, do your homework, contact a friend, a relative that has used an adjuster in the past. If you don't have any of those resources, just pick up the phone and make a call to Mario. Mario will help to guide you in the right direction. If you're a frequent viewer of ours, then you know about Mario. You visited his site, marioshomenews.com, and Mario is a name that you have gotten to trust. So wherever you are in Florida, wherever you're watching in Florida, if your area is affected, if your property, just be careful out there. Don't be taken for scams. Contact your relative, if somebody you know, contact Mario, and he'll be able to guide you. It's going to be a rough couple of days here in Florida, and we really don't know.
No, we don't know, but we've been through this before.
Absolutely.
Andrew's not the only storm. We've had a bunch of them since then.
Yep.
And, it's all about the preparation and the safety. That's what it's all about.
So Mario, on our end, we're going to be hunkered down. We have the generator, we have gas, we have everything. What are your plans for the weekend?
So my plans have gotten changed as a result of this storm. Claudia and I were heading out to Marco Island tomorrow for the extended weekend, and we spoke to the hotel today, and they actually are shutting down the hotel because of all the uncertainty. And that's a big thing, because the west coast of Florida, where Marco Island, Naples, a lot of the different beach areas, Labor Day is like the final big holiday for the weekend, and this is going to have a tremendous economic impact on those areas. So instead of heading to Marco Island tomorrow, between tomorrow and Saturday, we'll be doing our preparation at home, taking everything from the backyard in. Anything that's loose will be put in the garage or inside the house, both in front and in the rear of the house, and then pray for the best. I mean,
are you doing like any hurricane parties?
No hurricane party. I might be in my pool until the hurricane hits, like I usually do, because there's that calm before the storm.
Calm before the storm.
I once I finish the preparation, I might jump in the pool for a while and cook some burgers. But other than that, just sit around and wait like everybody else.
Folks, if you're watching us live, some great tips there that you can use before the storm hits. If you're watching us at the replay, if you're watching us after the fact, hopefully you have not sustained any damage. If you have, pick up the phone, call Mario. Mario will definitely help to steer you and guide you in the right direction, will help you navigate that complex after storm real estate and financial matters, which they plague every area that gets hit. It's just a thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. Mario, do you have any closing comments?
Yes, if you're currently involved in a transaction, don't be surprised if it gets delayed because of the storm. Don't start screaming or yelling at the people you're dealing with because it's out of their control. These are things that happen during times like this here in Florida. The other thing is to heed the warnings and the preparation that the local officials in your area are talking about on TV, the weather people, the news. Just try to stay calm and prepare as best as possible for you and your family. And then if you know people that might need some assistance and you can be of help, then do that. But make sure you take your preparation seriously. Prepare your home. Prepare, make sure that anything that can move, you bring it in.
Right.
Have your water. Make sure you got enough gas in your cars. Go to your ATM machine. Get some money out. Have some cash available. And then all you got to do is sit back and wait. Batteries, lighters, flashlights, a portable radio, just to stay in tune with the news after the storm. Sometimes we're out of power for a day. Sometimes it could be a week. So you got to have a plan for after the storm also. So, good luck to everybody. You're all in my prayers. And that's the best we can do.
And after the storm always comes the sunshine. So a house is brick, cement, and wood. There's nothing more valuable than your life and the life of your loved ones and your family. I'll take that into consideration. A house can be replaced.
Right, and when you see these nuts out on the beach right before the storm comes,
Don't do
Don't
that.
do that. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. So everybody, good luck during the storm. We'll see you next week. And if you think this today could be helpful to your friends and family, feel free to share it. If not, good luck, Andy, to you and your family. Good luck to everyone out there.
Absolutely. Folks, thank you for the love. Andy here within South Florida. Mario Quintero, the one-stop shop, Mr. Clear to Close, giving you some very valuable hurricane tips before the storm. And if you're watching us after the storm and you need any help at all in the real estate market or the financial market with mortgages, whatever, give this guy a call. Years of experience and a lot of knowledge to help you navigate after the storm. Awesome. Thank you.